2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast. Thirty seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Fighting for freedom every day.
Let me tell you, the response to the show has been absolutely amazing. People can't believe that a young conservative millennial continues to fight for constitutional principles, traditional values, and talks about issues that some are even afraid to talk about. But we do it because we understand the importance of this. And now we're seeing it absolutely blow up all across the nation.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andi Hooser.
I am so confused right now. This has been an absolute day of madness. I don't know if you just listened to it or not just a few minutes ago. If it's you're listening to this on a delayed tape with the radio or TV, live streaming, wherever you may be, welcome into the program. Just a little bit ago, President Donald Trump made some official remarks in the Rose Garden regarding COVID-19. He took 0 questions. No questions. Now, of course, the media in the background, as soon as he gets done, Mr. President, are you going to finally give up? But yet he didn't say anything. Not a word about it. He walked out, very professional, very scripted, and just went, hey, here's the latest with COVID. The economy's rocking. We are getting out vaccines. We are doing better than the other nations. We've made ventilators. We're doing awesome. Everything's all hunky-dory. He had a general speak with the Operation Warp Speed. He had a doctor speak. He had Vice President Mike Pence speak, the head of the task force. And then he said, all right, thanks. And he walked off stage. Done. Didn't even give an opportunity to ask him any questions, which, of course, you know what was going to be asked, Mr. President. Why are you being a sore loser in this election? Mr. President, why aren't you just conceding in this presidential election? They don't care about COVID anymore. Media really doesn't care anymore, except for the numbers that are just terrible, and the numbers are growing, and everybody's hospitalized. We need to shut things down. So in any other circumstance, they would be asking. But in this situation, no. Mr. President, how come you haven't conceded yet? And you heard him yell it in the background, too. Mr. President, why aren't you giving up, you sore loser? It's unbelievable. Hey, welcome into the show. It's great to have you along for the ride today. It is a Friday, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on our flagship station all over the country on radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. Doesn't matter where you're at watching or listening to the program, all over on the Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, also on Parler.com and Minds.com, and on the website at HooserReason.com. All of our social media handles are all the same. Very easy for you to find us no matter which one you are on, at Hooser Reason, and we appreciate you hanging out today with us. We have a lot to get to. I have some really exciting things for you today. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to be talking with Andi Gray. She is the president of Strategy Leaders. talking about small business, especially with COVID-19 right now and small business in the nation. Why is it so important to be focused on small business? I don't know, only because it's like 95, 99% of our economic growth here in the nation. So we have Andi Gray coming on the program at the bottom of the hour. I have a couple audio clips for you. Plus we have, I guess this is our What's Trending. Let's get into our What's Trending for the day.
What's trending today?
So according to the media, again, pure speculation. There's no actual official thing about it. It's all just speculation by the media and their experts. The networks have officially called the state of Georgia for Joe Biden, bringing his supposed total in the Electoral College to 306 to President Donald Trump's 232. Now, that includes somewhat, I guess, North Carolina as well, because North Carolina finally just got called for President Donald Trump. They say that Georgia, this is the first time that Georgia has gone Democrat since 1992. Now, again, this is all speculation. As far as I'm aware, they're under a recount right now. They're under a recount. So I want to get to that here in just a second. But President Donald Trump, when he came out just a little bit ago and spoke at the Rose Garden, he had just talked about COVID. Now, he made one, I don't know, I'm a little concerned by this. I don't know if he meant to say this. I don't know if he wanted to go down this road, if he wanted to avoid it completely. I'm sure his people said, you know, Mr. President, don't even talk about it. Don't even mention it. But it kind of slipped up a little bit. And I don't know if it was intention one way or the other, where he thinks he's still going to win, or whether he's staying in the background because he thinks he's going to concede soon, which I don't think is the case. Personally, I still think he's got a good case as he goes to the courts. There were some headlines saying that there were a few different court cases that kind of fell through, that he wasn't able to challenge in Wisconsin or Michigan and maybe even Pennsylvania. But I find that really hard to believe with what's going on in some of the news that's come out. So we'll talk about that briefly, because there's really not a whole lot other than the Dominion system, if everybody's talking about that, is the software company that actually does a lot of the electronic voting. Some states used it, some states did not use it. They were concerned about fraud, and the ones that are very close that have some issues, an algorithm shows that Joe Biden's just slightly ahead, just by kind of the same percentage-wise based on the number of votes, and it's all that same Dominion program. So now it seems like Rudy Giuliani and the attorneys are going after that one singular software program to prove that there was fraud in some ballots that were flipped using that software. That's going to be a difficult thing to make. That's going to be a difficult argument to make. But if they have the evidence, they can do it. And that's a really big, if they have the evidence, then they can do it. So hopefully they can find that, and hopefully they can do their legality thing and make it all professional. But Donald Trump did slip up here just a few moments ago. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what he was doing. As he was talking about COVID-19, he was talking about the economy and shutting down the nation because of all the economic growth that we've had, and he just briefly touched on the electoral results.
While healthy Americans have gone back to work and to school, we continue to spare no expense to protect the elderly and the vulnerable. According to some estimates, a national lockdown costs $50 billion a day and hundreds of thousands of jobs every single day. Ideally, we won't go to a lockdown. I will not go. This administration will not be going to a lockdown. Hopefully, the whatever happens in the future, who knows which administration it will be. I guess time will tell. But I can tell you, this administration will not go to a lockdown. There won't be necessity. Lockdowns cost lives, and they cost a lot of problems.
All right. Now, there's really nothing there, other than the fact he was talking about shutdowns, and this administration's not going to do any shutdown. But did you almost feel it? Did you almost feel it where he almost said, I'm not going to shut it down. This administration's not going to shut it down. Who knows what's going to happen with the next administration? Did you hear that he almost slipped that up? Maybe it was just me trying to put words in the mouth. And I don't want that to happen. But listen to it again and see if you got the same kind of feel, the same kind of vibe that I did. Is that concerning to you?
While healthy Americans have gone back to work and to school, we continue to spare no expense to protect the elderly and the vulnerable. According to some estimates, a national lockdown costs $50 billion a day and hundreds of thousands of jobs every single day. Ideally, we won't go to a lockdown. I will not go. This administration will not be going to a lockdown. Hopefully, the whatever happens in the future, who knows which administration it will be. I guess time will tell. But
weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but that was the only reference during the entire, 15, 20-minute press conference that he had. The entire time, that was the only reference that he had to the election and not knowing what's going to happen in the near future. I know he's really not probably supposed to talk about it in any way, shape, or form because it's under litigation. The Supreme Court's looking at some things. They're working on this details. And from his tweets, he tweeted out that more information would be coming out next week. So we're just kind of waiting on pins and needles right now. We're still waiting. It's been a very anxious week right now because we're a week into the presidential election and still not know. Now, the media may know and Joe Biden may know because they've just claimed it. It's done. It's over. You don't have to worry about it. Which is why we did this.
Andy's latest product.
Yeah. Andy's latest product. As you know, the voice of reason, we like to have fun and do our infomercials, our satire. For those legal disclaimers, we like to do our fun little infomercials to sell products. Last week, and actually we did one last week, and now we've done one this week, so I'm going to try and get back onto a weekly routine on some of these. Last week, if you remember, we had created our election fraud prevention program. You put on the goggles, and voila, no voter fraud whatsoever. You don't have to worry about a thing. But maybe they weren't strong enough, and this is still part of the election fraud prevention program because that was the election fraud prevention goggles. We need to step it up a notch. We really need to step it up a notch because people are suffering from a severe disease, as in Joe Biden is suffering from a severe disease. And it is called the problem that he's suffering from. And I got to admit, I didn't actually create this myself. I saw it on social media, and I kind of ran with it myself and kind of made it my own thing. But he is suffering from what we like to call premature inaugurations. I'm just throwing it out there. Premature inauguration. So, because of this disease, we had to come up with a product. We are problem solvers here on The Voice of Reason. We are problem solvers. We're the ones that cure things. We're the ones that come up with the solutions and the answers, right? So, The Voice of Reason and our great Hooser Media Network and Voice of Reason product lines, we've come out with a brand new pill called Elections with a Z. Elections to help cure your premature inaugurations. And here's the latest infomercial here from The Voice of Reason.
Attention. If you've recently run for political office and have claimed victory before the process is over, this message is for you. You may be entitled to certain litigation and accusations of fraud. Studies have shown that there is a dramatic increase in the cases of a severe condition known as premature inauguration syndrome, and it's affecting anyone in the mainstream media and those who may have voted Democrat in the most recent election.
My husband has been struggling with premature inaugurations for a while. He works so hard and gives it everything he's got, but he keeps coming up short. I mean, he wants to end it so quickly. The problem is, he's proud of it.
Symptoms of premature inauguration syndrome may include calling an election before officially tallied, ignoring litigation that may substantially impact results of your election, creating fake offices for potential soon-to-be officials, denial of any contrasting opinions of your election, and complete memory loss of the entire election process. If you suffer from any of these symptoms, call this hotline immediately, and one of our Voice of Reason medical experts can help you.
We've seen these symptoms in a large demographic of people, from older candidates who sometimes forget what office they're running for, to even young adults that seem emotionally triggered by people wearing red hats. I'm concerned it's turning into an epidemic, but we have a solution.
Elections. One tablet of Elections daily can make all your symptoms disappear.
After my husband took elections, he was unstoppable. He was able to go and go with confidence and longevity. Now he's able to wait for the perfect time and bring both of us to victory.
Elections contains all the health benefits to help you get to the real finish line, just like the good old days. Elections includes traditional voting on Election Day, official and complete canvassing, too close to call recounts, and an extra dose of courts to help all ease those negative concerns.
Side effects of elections include the proper candidate winning without fraud or corruption and allowing the court process to play out with litigation before the decision is made. Not taking your full 40-day dose of elections keeps you at risk, and prior patients who did not resulted in their symptoms of premature inauguration syndrome returning.
Elections, the latest in the Voice of Reason product line, giving you safe and healthy elections since 2020.
It's not the little blue pill. It's the red.
There it is, the latest Voice of Reason product right here on the Hoosier Media Network. We appreciate that, and everybody who partook in that, and especially the Mrs. Voice of Reason with the female voice in that one. But the latest and greatest product line from the Voice of Reason, elections. Stopping your premature inaugurations dead in its tracks. Oh, I love it. Let me know your thoughts on social media. You can comment. You can also email me at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. We're trying to, I have to admit, not to gloat a little bit here, but I have to say that we try to make a lot of these. We try to have fun with them and, lighten the mood, especially on a Friday, wrapping up a very stressful, crazy week. And I try to put a lot of effort into it, but I have to say this one's probably one of my more favorites. At least for me, probably one of the most clever ones that I've been able to write and come up with. So let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's not the little blue pill, being the Democrats. It's the red pill to try and stop your premature inaugurations. Side effects may include. Got to take a break. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you right here on The Voice of Reason. We got a lot to get to. Stay tuned.
The Voice of Reason with Andi Hooser.
Hey, it's Andi Hooser with The Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HoosierReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Hey, it's Andi Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HoosierReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HoosierReason.com. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HoosierReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andi Hooser with The Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on The Voice of Reason and the Hoosier Media Network. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with The Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HoosierReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hoosier Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HoosierReason.com.
For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the program. I'm getting some messages all over, some emails as well, about the latest Voice of Reason product, which, by the way, you can always download those. You can download them for your use and share them to your friends, share them all over the place. If you just go online to our website at HooserReason.com, up on the top, you'll see these special tabs called Special Features, and then you'll see the list, laundry list of all of our Voice of Reason products, all of our fun little satire infomercials that we make here, and you can see those. We also have, I believe we still have on there the face mask exemption card as well that we made up. We didn't make up, I found it, and I just thought I'd make it public for everybody to be able to use. So that was not me. I did make the infomercial to have fun with it, but I did not make the actual card. I just uploaded it onto the website. But for all of our infomercials and all of our fun little satire bits, you can go online to HooserReason.com. You can go to our special features tab, and you can actually download all of those right there. But I'm getting some decent feedback on that. I think people really liked it. So, look, I think I'm pretty happy with that one. Might be one of my more favorite ones that we've made so far. We'll have to see. We'll continue on and see how well we get and see if they continue to get any better. Welcome back into the show. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting, wherever you may be. Let me know. I may play it again at the end of the hour. Who knows? Depending on where we go with this. Coming up in the next segment, Andi Gray, she'll be joining us talking about small business in the nation. You want to talk about conspiracy theorists just for a second? Because I find it hilarious. They always call us the conspiracy theorists. I mean, we're the ones holding out for a legitimate electoral process to happen, right? There's litigation. Some states are too close to call. Some are doing an automatic recount. But yet the media continues to just name them and claim them and give them to Joe Biden and then say the election's over. Why are you guys still talking about this? They call us the conspiracy theorists because we're saying, hey, wait a second, maybe we should gather some evidence here and try and present it to court and see if we can actually go anywhere with this to challenge the election results because something's just not right. Got a message from Frederick. Deep down, just don't feel right about this election. I'm with you. It feels very strange. Someone who never had any rallies that had more than like 20 people there. Someone who doesn't remember his own name, someone who stayed in his basement and didn't even campaign 2 weeks out from the election. Something's fishy about that. And while Donald Trump's pulling in 30,000 plus people at rallies, they're all of a sudden saying that Joe Biden has more energy and support than what Donald Trump does. Now, I know that he's a very divisive character, and you either love the guy or you hate the guy. Totally get that. And he's made a lot of enemies. I totally get that. He didn't win over a whole lot of Democrats. Totally get that. But this nation is still a majoritively center-right nation, which means the center-right that is in this country is going to look at Donald Trump, and you know what? He's a jerk. We don't like him on Twitter, but he's built the economy. He's fighting the COVID battle. It's not really his fault when we did lockdowns, and we're seeing states that actually reopened to do really well, states that are continuously shut down, struggling really badly. You know what? Looking at these guys between that and Joe Biden, who's been there for 47 years, he can't remember his own name. He doesn't remember what the color red is. I mean, when you look at those different options, commonsensical people, even if you're progressive, are like, why did we choose Joe Biden again? And is there any other option? When third-party voting was down this year, and then all of a sudden Joe Biden, out of all people, broke the record for most amount of votes in a presidential, it just something doesn't pass the smell test. I don't get it. Last night we got home and the store that we went to had sold us some bad fish. And we opened up the fish to cook some dinner last night. Mrs. Voice of Reason did, and it smelled horribly. That's how bad this election stinks right now. That's how bad this election actually is right now. Because something doesn't pass the smell test. I don't know what it is. We don't have any factual evidence of it. They're looking into it. They're trying to present their cases. But just natural basic instinct for most people, who I think is mostly right on. Our gut instinct, our conscience is usually pretty spot on when we feel these things. It just doesn't feel right. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm not saying that it's 100% proof evidence. I'm just saying something's not right. Especially a guy who's suffering from premature inaugurations and just is struggling a little bit because he just wants to claim victory before the battle is actually over. See what we did there? That's called a joke. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk with our guest, Andi. Andi Gray. We'll chat with Andy and talk about some of the latest when it comes to small business here in the nation. Looking forward to doing that here as well. So stay tuned. We got a lot to get to here on The Voice of Reason. Plus, we may play our Voice of Reason product again. Make sure to stay tuned in for that here on the show. Until then, bottom of the hour news, if I could speak today. It's a Friday. We're just like, whatever. We'll do a lot more when we come back here. Stay tuned.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andi Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
The Hooser Media Network is way more than just the voice of reason. It's your source to find numerous different online talk shows, podcasts, TV, and radio programs, all in one simple online location for you. From political talk to health talk to whatever you may be interested in, we're here for you. And I tell you, it's growing every day. Catch Tracy Maxfield with her podcast, Engage, Educate, and Empower, discussing mental health issues in children and teenagers. From bullying, teenage suicide, addiction, ADHD, and so much more, learn from Tracy and her guests about symptoms, signs, and ways to talk to your children, plus so much more. Having battled depression, being the author of the internationally acclaimed book, Escaping the Rabbit Hole, and being a retired nurse, Tracy is kind of the go-to on the subject. Make sure to find her on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, along with her website at tracymaxfield.com. Also, make sure to tune into the weekly podcast, Jump, Pivot, and Roll with Shannon Stiles and Rachel Murphy. Taking that next big leap of faith is hard. Trying to write a book, maybe struggling with a relationship, looking to take that next big career step. What's stopping you? There's a lot of big questions there, and they're questions that Rachel and Shannon want to help with you each and every week. It's Jump, Pivot, and Roll on any of your favorite podcasting sites and on Facebook and YouTube. All of these shows and a heck of a lot more can be found on the Hooser Media Network Facebook and YouTube channels. Make sure to follow and subscribe to check them out today. Follow all the shows, and if you have any inquiries, check us out at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with The Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andi Hooser with The Voice of Reason, and I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
You're darn right you are. Welcome back into the Voice of Reason, radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting, all over the country. Doesn't matter whether you're watching, listening to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Broadcasting live out of Wichita, Kansas, right here on our flagship station. All over the place. Trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag. Trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time. The Millennial General reporting for duty here on a Friday. It's a great Friday. Yeah, that's right. We are getting closer. We're in the trifecta that is the holiday season right now. Got through Halloween, now Thanksgiving in a couple weeks. Can you believe it? A week and a half away from Thanksgiving. Not ready for that yet. And then, of course, Christmas and New Year's. Maybe 2021 will bring us some crazy surprises. We'll have to see. Let's shift gears a little bit. Well, we'll get back into some of the political issues here in a minute, but let's see what's trending today, shall we?
What's trending today?
What's trending today is that regardless of whatever happens politically, we need to make sure our economy's rocking and rolling. And I know it's kind of difficult with COVID right now. So we need to talk to some experts about what's going on with small business, with the economy, and how to keep things on track. And can we save our economy and our small businesses that make up the majority of our economy? And I'm excited to have on the program today. She is president of Strategy Leaders. You can find them online at strategyleaders.com, as they are a consulting firm that works with small businesses all over the nation. Andi Gray is hanging out with us here on the line. Andy, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me today. It's a nice Friday.
It's a beautiful Friday, and I appreciate you coming on the show very much. Let's talk about small business. It is really the backbone of our entire nation, is it not?
It is. It's half of our economy. It's half of our workforce. It's the first job and the last job for most of the people who work in the United States. And we, as small businesses, represent 85% of all exporting companies in this country. And they are also the source of most innovations that we create in this country. So they are incredibly powerful. And there are 6 million of them with more than one employee. And we need to be focused on how many of them we can keep alive through this COVID crisis.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing to see what's happening right now with a lot of these. I mean, no matter where you're at, seeing restaurants and bars and nightclubs or hair salons or barber shops or whatever kind of industry you may be into, the fact that a lot of them are shutting down, and we're just like, keep paying the bills, keep paying the electric bill, but you can't have any customers in there. I don't know how a lot of these are maintaining. Are you seeing a trend of downward closures and businesses shutting doors?
It's rolling across the country. As COVID rolls across the country, it's taking its toll on small business in big numbers. We've seen some communities that have been hardest hit are already reporting 45% of their businesses lost. And that's particularly in the minority communities where they are very Main Street, very small businesses, and very little resources. One of the biggest challenges for small businesses is that they went into this COVID with, on average, less than 2 months of reserves. So not a lot to sustain themselves when they don't have any money coming in. And they also are, the banking relationships that they have are not going to sustain them. When things get bad, it's kind of an oxymoron. When you need money, you can get it from the bank when you don't need it, but when you do need it, you're not going to get it from the bank.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It breaks my heart, and I know that we've tried to do some relief earlier this year when we did some of the CARES Act funding to try and get some loans and grants out to businesses, and if they used it for certain things, it was going to be completely waived as a grant where they wouldn't have to pay it back to the federal government. Is that helping, or is that just not enough right now?
You know, it's interesting. At the beginning of COVID, the small business marketplace was very optimistic, and I think a lot of that was related to the EIDL program, which was the first program that went out there from the SBA. That it was a loan program, and you could get about 6 months of gross profit that on a long-term loan at very low interest rates. And business owners are accountable people. They're willing to use the money and pay it back if they can use it to buy themselves time and rebuild. Then we went to the PPP program, and in my view, it really wasn't such a great program. It was short. A lot of companies thought they had to use it right away. The rules kept changing. The money got spent pretty quickly, and it really didn't go to long-term rebuilding for the businesses. And now we're sitting and waiting for both parties in Washington to get their act together and start focusing on what they're going to do next for small business. And I fear that if they don't get something done in the next couple of weeks, this is going to sit through the holidays, and we're going to lose a lot of businesses who can't afford that wait.
No, and this is the time we absolutely need it. I mean, many businesses thrive on the holiday season with some of the holiday shopping and some of the goods that we actually have and the distribution or the production of or whatever industry many are going into. This is the time for them to shine, and the fact that we're actually going the other direction, trying to shut things down again. We heard about New Mexico. We heard about Oregon actually shutting down all non-essential businesses again for the next 2 weeks. I mean, this is going into the bread and butter of their season, and this is going to hurt them more so than ever. So, I mean, right now we've always kind of known, I mean, government never really solves anything, but what needs to happen in order for these businesses to survive and actually be able to flourish, or at least keep hanging in there going in through the holidays?
So the first thing that we're telling everybody that we're working with, every small business owner, is this whole country went to e-commerce in a heartbeat. And you've got to think about and figure out quickly how you are going to deal over the Internet. Attract customers, serve customers, deliver to customers, give service to customers. You got to figure out how to do it over the Internet. It's a reality of where we are today, and it's only going to accelerate from here. And if we have so many businesses that are retail-based, they're stuck in the mindset that they have to wait for the customer to come to them. They've actually been stuck in that mindset for a very long period of time, and that's why in many communities retail has struggled with a high turnover rate.
Yeah.
As we go into the Christmas season, you're right. There are a lot of businesses that make their profits in this period of time, and we are going to have some winners and some losers. And if we don't figure out how to get another loan program out to help them make it through next year, we're going to lose them.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. We're talking with Andi Gray, president of Strategy Leaders. You can find him online, strategyleaders.com. Let's shift gears just a little bit and go into the political side of this. Right now, we're uncertain on who's going to be president of the United States come January, and a potentially a new administration where we have really drastic differences on what policy they want to implement when it comes to regulations on business in the private sector, when it comes to taxes on corporate taxes for businesses, when it comes to employee taxes and employer taxes. And now I even saw a story where they want to talk about taxing people for working at home, because how dare you not use that infrastructure? So we're going to start taxing businesses and employees for working at home and actually not being out on the highways. With this change of talk compared to what we've seen over the last couple of years, and really swinging from one regulatory mindset to another. What kind of pressure does that put on businesses on top of COVID to try and structure their business and prepare for maybe some of the regulatory laws that will come down, or even just the tax burdens that they're going to have to feel?
So I try not to ride on either side of the political spectrum. I am in favor of anybody that is going to figure out how to provide a support structure for small business. And I do believe that both parties understand the importance of small business on some level, and on the other hand, I don't think either party recognizes that the survival of these businesses is a ticking time bomb. Yeah. I think they have both behaved over the last month or so clearly that their paycheck does not ride on whether or not they do something to help small business, and I think that's a shame. I think it is really dishonorable to the small business community from both sides. Yeah. As we look at what we need to do going into the next administration, whatever that is, I think we have to make sure that our voice is heard in Washington, and I would encourage every one of your listeners, write your legislator, write your congressman, write your senator, write their legislative aides, and tell them, do something now. Make sure that you provide help, because, for example, in your state, in the state of Kansas, you guys are just going into the first big round of spikes. You're at 5 times where you were a couple of months ago. You're just beginning to see the wave of small businesses, and you've already lost 6,000 of them. Yeah. Just wait. This thing's going to roll. But there are things, but we can't wait on Washington. As small business owners, we also have to get moving, and as members of the community, we've got to get moving. So back to your question about the role of the holiday season, I would tell everybody who's listening, make a commitment to shop local. It's not quite as easy as dialing on to the Big A and ordering what you want and having it all served up to you. But I got to tell you, helping a small business get an order directly from you and cutting out some of those marketing costs is going to be really important. Donate. Donate at Christmas time is something that a lot of people do, or at the end of the year. So buy materials locally and then donate them to a local charity. So go buy pet supplies locally, go buy PPE equipment locally, and then donate it to whoever you're going to donate it to. Go buy food locally and donate it to a local charity.
I love
There's a lot that we can be doing. As business owners, I think we have to be watching out for our brethren. Volunteer some time to help another business owner. Help mentor them. Help them form an advisory board.
I love it.
Reach out into your community. That's what makes small business so important and powerful, is they are part of our local community structure.
And we can do that. We can do that locally.
Each other.
You're right. We can do it locally. Andi Gray, you're right. We're out of time. Andi, I appreciate the time very much. StrategyLeaders.com. Let's get you back on and do this again here real soon.
I'd love to come back anytime you want.
Very good. Appreciate it. This is The Voice of Reason. More coming up. Stay here. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms, or you can find a link to all of our social media sites on our website at HooserReason.com. We know you're on social media already, so bring some reason into your day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com.
Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason, and I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the program today. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites and have the show automatically downloaded to your phone or computer every single day. Just find us on any podcasting site or go to HooserReason.podbean.com. And be sure to check out our Patreon site, become the ultimate Hooserholic, and help us fight for conservative values every day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Now back to the national broadcast of the Voice of Reason.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
You're darn right you are. Welcome back into the program. Just a few minutes left of the show. It goes by way too fast. Way too fast. The fastest radio show in America, by far, bar none. I don't care what anybody else says or any other radio host says. Yeah, see, welcome back into the show. Radio, TV, live streaming, podcasting. Thanks again to Andi Gray with Strategy Leaders coming on the program. Great information when it comes to small business. Shop local and shop online and shop local. You can do that. If you can't walk into the brick and mortar store, ask them if they can sell online. Talk to them on the phone. Get things ordered. Have them set things. Remember the days when you could actually set things outside the door and be like, I'm going to be there in 10 minutes to pick it up. Can you drop it off and set it out there for me? Oh, okay. Oh, the good old days. That's right. Welcome back into the show. So there's a story that came out where now everybody's so paranoid about this virus. And I get it. It's be careful, be cautious. I'm not saying it's not dangerous. I am seeing 10 million cases and 100,000 deaths, so it's a very low rate of actual death compared to the case load, but there are a lot of hospitalizations. My advice, again, like I have been saying since this entire pandemic began, use common sense. Use common sense. Wash your hands. Don't sneeze on people. Keep your distance. That's why I'm in radio and not TV anyways, because I'm kind of not a standoffish guy. I love meeting people, love talking to people. That's not it at all, but I work better by myself instead of relying on other people to do things for me. For those that know, I actually run my own board right here beside me. I play my own sound effects. I get my own story. I do all of it myself. It's a one-man show here. Although we are getting a Mr. Producer here pretty soon, in a sense. So we'll announce that here in a little bit as well, as we're working on some things behind the scenes. And it's going to be someone who's going to help me very much so with my new Voice of Reason product lines as well. So they're going to be a big factor in that. So stay tuned. More information to come on that one. But nonetheless, as I was going through these stories today, I saw one regarding COVID and how it's infiltrated Hollywood. Now, Hollywood has been lagging on making new things, new movies, new shows, because obviously you have to have a large group of people to actually film production for a movie or for a TV show. I mean, you got to be in close quarters, and they don't like that right now. So most of the shows are on hiatus at the time being, and I've been going through I'm almost done with my Netflix. I will say I am going to be ending my Netflix after the whole, Cuties show and the politics behind that. I know some Obama people kind of own Netflix, so it's kind of got a slant to it. So I will be ending it. I'm trying to finish a show first. Bear with me. I'm trying to finish a show on there that's really, really good, and I need to finish that so I can end it, and then I can go on to the other sources. But I'm watching reruns of everything right now. I'm not watching anything live. We're not watching anything new. I am dying for a new episode of The Walking Dead. I cannot wait for a new episode of The Walking Dead. I don't know whatever show you're waiting on, but Walking Dead for me is and they stopped it like mid-season. They're like, done. We're waiting for it to be over with COVID. So they were right in the middle of a storyline. I can't watch it, and it's driving me absolutely bonkers. But did you know now that in Hollywood, the ones that are trying to actually film things, they're doing things differently, and they're doing it in the very Hollywood style-esque for COVID-19. And what I mean is right now they're making TV shows where kissing scenes, they use plexiglass barriers between the kissers. I'm not joking. According to TheWrap.com, what's a romantic holiday TV movie without a big kiss where it's under the mistletoe in the snow or by the fire? Not as merry for some for sure. That's why the Lifetime, the big one, Lifetime began to troubleshoot actor kissing during a pandemic conundrum it was facing while shooting its annual slate of small screen Christmas films, which total 30 total projects this year. And they have a picture of a gal in a wheelchair and a guy sitting next to her on a chair kissing with a piece of plexiglass between them. Now, I'm just throwing it out there. If you're filming this or if you're watching something like this and you see maybe a mirage of the person or you see their nose smushed, I'm assuming they're trying to hide the plexiglass. So I don't know. Maybe they're actually throwing the COVID thing into the script. Maybe they're trying to say, it's COVID time. It's Christmas during COVID. And maybe they actually had the plexiglass in the shot. My guess would be, however, is that they're trying to conceal it to where it looks like a kiss, but it's not really. So there's social distancing and had the barrier between them, but not really. And they're trying to do it discreetly. But you would think their nose would be smushed up like that when you're trying to kiss. Oh, man. Why don't you just hold off and just play the classics? Play some Charlie Brown. Play some Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman. Do something. But really, gotta put the plexiglass up there to kiss. Drive me absolutely nuts. That does it for us today. Podcast going up a little bit. We'll be back at it next week. We have a laundry list of awesome guests coming up for you next week, so you're not going to miss it. Until then, also let me know your thoughts on the Voice of Reason product, the new one that we just came out with today. Elections. Stopping your medical issues of things that aren't very good. Thanks, Joe Biden. With your premature inaugurations. That does it for us today. Be your own voice of reason. It's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. This is the Voice of Reason. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.